It's the Line Makers on Sporting News.
Teeing it up for college football Saturday, Pac-12 style with USC at Stanford. We're looking at the Trojans, an 8-point favorite. Total on the game is 56. If you were with us last week, we told you that USC game go over the total and thought the travel would keep Syracuse in it. We actually got that one right. Can we do it again?
Can we do it again, Brian? This game has bounced around all over the place. Early, the numbers, it opened 6. It's been up as high as USC 10. Now it's back to 8. You know, I mean, USC is 1-4 against the spread the last 5 years against Stanford. They lost to them in triple overtime last year to Andrew Luck and company. It's a revenge game for USC. And, you know, I look at the two teams, and I don't understand why people are downgrading USC. I still think they are what everybody thought they were going into the start of the season. Last week they win 42-29 at Syracuse. There's no disgrace. And then you give up a couple of late touchdowns. You know, Stanford on the other side of the ball. Now, you're looking at a team with Josh Nunez at quarterback. No rap against Josh Nunez. He's not Andrew Luck, and they're not going to have another Andrew Luck for the next 20 years, okay? And probably maybe any school in the country. But you're also having to replace David DeCastro, first-round draft pick of the Steelers on the offensive line. You have to replace Kobe Fleener, the tight end that got drafted the first pick of the second round by the Colts to play with Andrew Luck. And then you got a USC team with Matt Barkley, with Marquise Lee, with Robert Woods, with Silas Redd. And I just, for the life of me, I don't see how Stanford's going to score enough points to stay in this game with USC.
Stanford, nice effort, got a big win against Duke, but
yeah, Stanford beat the Dukies 50-13, okay, in the Brainiac Bowl. All right, okay. You know, no disrespect to the athletes at USC. But this isn't the Brainiac Bowl. This is a bunch of future NFLers playing for USC. It's not the Duke defense, and you know, first of all, Stanford gave up 385 yards of total offense to Duke. What is USC going to put up, 600?
Well, I know we'll just say this because we talk about there'll be opportunities. At the beginning of the year, we told you the schedule maker is going to tee some opportunities up for you. Just some tried and true ones. You got Cal. It's a different game. Cal going to Ohio State. A few years back, top 10 Cal team, cross-country, 9 a.m. breakfast football, Maryland. Maryland destroyed them. Ohio State's worth a good look because Cal's got to do it again at Ohio State. But we're talking about travel. We talked about Notre Dame, 5 time zones. They struggled. USC went cross-country. That game was scoreless after the first quarter. These are things you want to take into account.
Yeah, I agree, Brian. And USC owes Stanford, period. Like I said, 1-4 against the spread the last 5 years. And remember, a couple of those spread losses came with Toby Gerhardt in the backfield also for Stanford a couple of years ago. Stephen Taylor's a very good tailback, but Stanford only ran the ball for 92 yards against Duke. They shut the run. If USC shuts down the running game, this game's a blowout, and I think 8's a cheap number. I really do.
And just like we told you before the game with Syracuse, we told you USC called the dogs off in the game with Hawaii because they didn't want to embarrass Norm Chow, who was a longtime Trojan assistant coach. There's no love lost here.
No, there's no love
They'll
lost.
Go for their lungs.
David Shaw, no tie, the coach at Stanford, no ties to USC. I can't see how Stanford is possibly going to stay in the game. I said in the preseason I didn't think Stanford would be a ranked team by week 4 or week 5. I don't think they have that kind of athletic ability, and USC has as much athletic ability or more than anybody in the country.
He's Ricky Herron on his high Trojan horse. But as far as I'm concerned, as they play Stanford this week, you're the line maker's brainiac.
And you know I don't like points on the road, but this is one case where I like the road favorite.
Keep it right here. It's the Line Makers on SportingNews.com. For Rick Herron, I'm Brian Blessing. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back with you from Vegas with college football and, of course, each and every NFL game preview.